Now we'll finish up the upper body. We'll bring back the visibility of our control curves, and let's focus our attention starting from the beginning of the animation, around this part here where the character is going for a second attempt to pull back the crate. And remember what we discussed earlier about about fixing up this area here so we can get some nice fluidity in this motion. So with the center of gravity selected, let's go to our graph view. We'll go to the translate Y, and notice our tangency here. It's pretty flat on the translate Y, and organic characters shouldn't have any flat lines like this unless, of course, a foot was planted or even in a hand plant. But in an area like the upper body, you wouldn't see this type of flat line here. Okay, as the character is moving. So what we want to do is just take these tangents, okay, and with them selected, we'll middle mouse button click and drag up, so we could get this nice arc in our translate Y. So now watch what that does as we scrub. Now we're getting this nice arcing motion in our character's move, and we can go ahead and focus on the translate Z now, okay, and do a similar fix here. So we'll select these two keys and let's bring them up, similar to what we've done with the translate Y, okay, also to fix up that motion there. So alright, great. So now we're getting this nice arc as the character moves up for his anticipation and then pulls back. Alright, and let's go ahead and work on the shoulders in this area now, since the character is moving up. And rather than pulling the shoulders down, he's really going to put his shoulders into this pull. So let's have him move up his shoulders, and then when he pulls back, his shoulders will move into more of this type of pose here. So we can start with this right shoulder, going into just focusing on the rotate Z, and we'll take the keys from frames 68 and 75. Let's select them and let's move them down so that we can move the character's shoulders up. Okay, and we want to exaggerate the pose a bit, so we'll really lift them up like that, maybe a little bit less. Okay, alright, so that looks pretty good. So watch what we get when we scrub through. Now we have this the character's shoulders coming up, and then boom, he goes into his pull. Alright, great. And let's see if we could adjust any of our keys here. We'll hit F and even use our Alt Shift and right mouse button, click and drag to get a better view. And let's actually take this key on 75 and just move it up some so the shoulders will start to drop a bit right before he goes into his pull. A little bit of follow through there. So on the frames on the same key, we'll just bring down our tangency, and also on frame 68 to get a better flow in here. Great. Now with that done, we'll do a similar fix to the left shoulder now. Going to the rotate Z, and we definitely need to fix that up. Getting this weird angle here. So we'll select these two keys, and instead of dropping them, we'll actually lift them up to lift up the shoulder. So let's go ahead and hold Shift and middle mouse button, click and drag up to our shoulder. Looks similar to the right, but not exactly identical. We don't want anything symmetrical in our animation here, or for pretty much any organic character. And that's just going to add to the a more natural looking pose. So we could bring it up maybe a little bit higher like that. Alright, great. And we'll go ahead and drop this key on frame 75 to drop the shoulder a little bit there, and then fix our tangency to get a better flow. Excellent. So if we go ahead and check out our animation, hitting play, notice what we get. Awesome. Now our character seems to be putting more into his pull. So let's go ahead and move on, bring back our control curves, and staying with the shoulders, let's go ahead and select this right shoulder. What we want to do is fix basically this pull, the time the shoulder's coming forward, because we want it coming forward a lot sooner than it is right now. Notice how even though the character's pulling, the shoulder comes forward a little bit after that. So to fix this, let's take these keys on frames 82 and delete them, and we'll take these keys on frames 89 and basically move it back to 83 or 82, around there. Okay, so we'll bring it, let's try 83. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so we'll just scrub back and forth and see if we like that. Okay, so that pull looks pretty good. And of course we have the shoulders bending, or the elbow bending, but we'll go ahead and fix that. So 83 is our key. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for our left. Okay. Again, we'll take the keys on frames 82, just get rid of that pose, delete it, and then take these keys on frames 89, and we could go, type in 83 here. So we can move the shoulder there, and then we'll check to see if we like our character's movement. Alright, that looks good. And now what we could do is just basically let's fix the translate Z of the upper body. We'll select these two keys here that lie on frames 82 and 89. Let's select them, go to frame 82, and let's just drop it down some until the arms are pretty much locked up. Okay, just to where they're locked up like that. And then on 89, we'll take this key and just bring it up so that the character's, again, not having his hands come off the handle but staying on. Great. So that's looking better. Alright. We do have this situation here where the elbow is slightly bent, this left elbow. So we'll just continue adjusting till that's fixed. We go to 83 and just take this key and bring it up a little bit so to keep that arm locked. There we go. Now let's focus on the right arm. Scrub through, and okay, it's coming too much off the handle, so we'll go ahead and adjust the shoulder on about frame 83. So we'll go to the rotate Y, and let's take this key and move it up a little bit there. Okay, and then we'll scrub back and forth to make sure that the arm is locked. Alright, that's looking pretty good. And we also get this slight pop here in the arm, in this right arm, on frame 104. So on 104, we'll just pull back the rotate Y here a bit on the arm to fix that up. Great, and let's see if the same thing's happening to our left arm. Alright, no, it looks fine. Okay, so that's looking good. Now as we move forward, we do have this elbow bend at around this area here. So to fix this, let's go to where the point where it's pretty much bent the most, around frame 150, about 151. And on that, we'll adjust again our rotate Y so that the arm is locked. But notice when we do that, how the arm is still bent a bit. That's because of our flat tangency here. So how are we going to fix that? Well, we can simply fix it by selecting this key and using our spline tangency. So once we switch that, notice now that arm is locked up, and we're getting a nice smooth arc in our F curve. So let's apply the same thing to our left arm now. Go to frame 151. Bring back the rotate Y a bit so that the arm is locked. Focus on the rotate Y and select this key, spline tangency. So now that arm is locked up too, for the most part, and then we could even adjust our tangency a bit, lifting up the left half a little bit more to fix that up. Okay, probably just a tad bit more. Alright, that's better. Great. So with these things done, we're just about complete. All we need to do is fix the hands here as the character is rising. So let's work on that. We'll just select the center of gravity, and as he's coming up, let's go into our perspective and graph view, focus on the translate Z, and let's have him move a little bit more forward in so that his arms are pretty much close to being bent but straight, and then we could even fix our tangency here. Alright, great. So now the hands are looking a little bit better. What we could also do, let's go to our translate Y, is on about frame 74, let's have them come a little bit more down. So we'll translate them down, and then notice how we get this weird looking tangency here. So what we'll do is just fix up our Y by bringing down the left half of this key on 74, and then we'll go to this key on 77, give it free tangent weight, and then we'll just break the tangency and edit this left half. Okay, so we don't get this weird curve, and then we'll hold shift and middle mouse button, click and drag to the right. Okay, so we can get a better flow out of this F curve. Alright, so our hands are looking better. They're coming up a little bit too much. Let's take this key on 74 and just drop it a bit. Okay. Alright, so that's looking a little bit better. And then we could go ahead and go to the left half of the tangent handle and bring that down some more to fix that. Alright, so that's better. Let's go ahead and check out that left arm, because it looked like it was bending a bit. Okay, so alright, the left arm looks pretty good actually. So with these changes made, now we can spend the time just doing a few play blasts to make sure everything's looking right before we can call the upper body done and move on. So how about we render one off from here? Here it is. Awesome, so this view looks good. Let's render one more from a back view. Okay, just so we're checking out multiple views here. So we could render from about this angle here. Here's the render. Okay, so we just have one little thing to fix up here, and that is at about that point there where the left shoulder is dropping. So let's go ahead and fix that. All we need to do is select this left shoulder, go to our perspective and graph view, and go to that spot that was happening, and it's right there on frame 119. So let's just take this key, the rotate Z, and just bring it up a little bit here to fix that. Alright, so there we go. That fixes that problem, and then we'll go ahead and just make sure that the elbow isn't popping as we pull back. Great. So it's fine. Well, that finishes up our upper body for this heavy pull. So it's time to bring back the legs and begin working on them, and that's what we're going to start working on in the next lesson.